Hello, my name's Greg Egan, and today I'm going to give you 10 tips for managing your anger. So let's get into it. To start with, managing anger effectively is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships, whether they be work, social, or personal. Looking after your general physical well-being, overall emotional balance, and psychological well-being as an individual. In this video, we're going to give 10 examples on how to manage your anger, or 10 tips. So let's continue. So anger may be triggered. Let's look first at the causes of anger. So anger may be triggered by situations that we think are unfair, or if we think someone has wronged us, humiliated us, or put our social status at risk, or we are placed in a situation where we are at threat of harm and may need to defend ourselves. Though anger can also be caused by symptoms of psychological issues, such as feeling overwhelmed, stressed, depression, oppositional defiant disorder, conduct disorders, borderline personality disorders, depression, generally poor emotional regulation, to name a few. So there could be a range of psychological issues that could be impacting on your ability to regulate your emotions and actually increase your chances of becoming angry in different situations. Other factors that may contribute to anger may be things like addictions such as gambling, alcohol, or drugs, or even other psychological factors may contribute to us becoming angry, such as learned behaviors, because when we're growing up, we are learning different ways of regulating our emotions and coping with our emotions and dealing with feelings of anger. And sometimes they are maladaptive behaviors that we actually have learned, such as experiences of family violence. We may have normalized becoming angry in situations to get what we want. Or even childhood trauma. There could be stuff that we're processing that could be contributing to how we regulate our emotions and release that in the form of anger in the present situation. Relationships issues, breakdowns, financial stresses, work pressures, court matters, to name a few. There are so many things that can contribute to how we regulate our emotions, and even in particular, anger. But what we want to look at particularly in this video is, how do we know if we have issues with anger as an individual? So here's some examples of signs that you may have issues with anger. 1, becoming physically or verbally abusive, where I'm hurting someone. So there's your first question to ask yourself. And here's some other questions to ask yourself. Always finding yourself feeling angry or difficulty controlling your anger? Feel that your anger is out of control and having angry outbursts on a regular basis? Frequently regretting something you have said or done? Small things make you angry, or you are easily triggered? Frequently getting into arguments? Making threats towards people or property? Has anyone suggested that you may have issues with anger? Having difficulty calming yourself? Your anger is going from 0 to 100 very quickly without control? And so if you're starting to look at some of these sorts of themes that I'm putting out there, or questions you could be asking yourself, then you may start to consider that, do I actually have a problem with anger? And if so, maybe I should be seeking some help for it. So let's move forward. So when we do get angry, though, there's sometimes signs or telltales that we're actually building up that anger. So some of the things we may experience when we're starting to feel angry could be our muscles tightening, especially around the jaw, the shoulders, the arms. We could have clenched jaw or fists. We could feel this buildup of pressure in our head. We could have sensations of heat or flushing in the face. We could have increased heart rate, increased breathing, or blood pressure. We could start sweating, shaking, or trembling. The urge to yell or physically lash out. We have agitated patterns of thinking. So when you do get angry, start to think about, what are some of your signs that you're getting angry? Because if we stop and reflect on what happens to us when we get angry, we can potentially identify the things that trigger us. We can identify the thought patterns that consume us. We can identify those physical sensations that start to build before we get to that point of lashing out behaviorally with anger. So here's 10 tips for managing your anger. So let's get into that. So if you are finding that you're having problems with anger, here are some hints and tips for managing anger. But to develop further tips outside this video, I encourage you to do your own research and also seek help from a professional if you need, if you feel you have anger issues. So tip one, I was mentioning on it before, pay attention to situation, people, or events that tend to trigger your anger and how this anger flows through your thoughts, your body, and into your behaviors. By identifying your triggers, you can be better prepared to manage your response when faced with these triggering situations. And even in this little chart, we can see here that cycle of anger. So we may get a trigger event. Could be a range of things that have caused us to become angry. Someone may even just say simply no to us, and that could be a trigger event. That may then build up into a pattern of negative thinking. Then we're going to feel those emotions build within us. We're going to have those physical symptoms that I was previously talking about flowing through our body. And then behaviorally, we're going to lash out with that verbal or physical aggression. So there's just an example of the cycle of how anger may flow through you. Next, tip 2, take a time out. So when you feel the anger rising in you, take a break from the situation if you can. Remove yourself physically if possible and give yourself time to cool down and regain perspective before addressing the issue. And this could be things like taking a walk, going somewhere that calms you, engaging in activities that help you calm down, such as listening to music, because you don't want to respond to a situation that's complex and difficult when you're in a highly emotional state. You want to be able to take that back step so you can put things into perspective. 3, practice deep breathing and mindfulness. So deep breathing exercises can help you calm your nervous system and reduce anger. Take slow, deep breaths in through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and exhale, breathe out slowly through your mouth. Repeat this process several times, and you'll find your physical body start to naturally calm down. Combining this with other grounding techniques can also be helpful, such as breathing and focusing on what you can see, hear, smell, touch, to bring yourself back to the present. E.g., walk to an emotionally neutral or calming location and combine breathing and grounding techniques. An example of that could be going for a bushwalk. And as you're bushwalking or walking in a park, you're focusing on just calm breathing. And you're focusing on, well, what am I seeing around me? What am I hearing around me? What am I smelling around me? What can I touch? So even those grounding techniques and breathing techniques can be a way to bring yourself back down to baseline. 4, use relaxation techniques on a regular basis. So engage in relaxation, such as meditation, Tai Chi, progressive muscle relaxation, or guided imagery, or even exercise of any form. These practices can help you relax your body, mind, and reducing the intensity of anger. Because stress is accumulative, for example. And so if you have one thing after another happen to you, eventually you're going to reach a breaking point. The same can happen sometimes with anger. So if you're engaging in regular activities that help you calm and relax, you are most likely taking that edge off, so that when you get in a situation that angers you, you're sometimes better able to respond because you have been releasing some of those emotions along the way with various relaxation techniques. And also, these activities are just generally good for your health and well-being. And I'll put some links in the description of this video of some of these techniques. Express yourself calmly. So when you are ready, so just say you've gone away, taken a walk, you've calmed yourself down. Now you want to be able to express how you're feeling in a calm, but sometimes assertive manner. So you could use I statements to communicate your perspective and needs without blaming or attacking others. Clearly express what you want or expect in a respectful manner. So you want to calmly say, look, I feel upset when you do this. This is how it impacts on me. Or this is what I would like to see change. And here's some suggestions that I've got. What do you think? So open it up for discussion and talk through the issues. Negotiate, mediate, communicate. But do it in a calm manner. And don't do it when you're highly emotive. So 6, practice active listening. So improve your communication skills by actively listening to others. Pay attention to their words, validate their feelings, and try to understand their point of view. Cultivating empathy and understanding can diffuse anger and facilitate better communication. So even yourself, before getting angry at a situation, stop for a minute. Actually listen to what the other person's saying. You may not agree with everything they're saying, and you don't have to, but you can at least hear what they're saying. And then validate the feelings that they're having in that situation and try to see it through their eyes. So show empathy for their situation, even if you don't fully agree with why they feel the way they do, for example. 7, use humor and distraction. So lightening the mood with humor or engaging in pleasant distraction can help shift your focus from the anger. Find activities that bring you joy or make you laugh, such as listening to music, watching a comedy, or engaging in a hobby. That's when I was talking about, well, basically things that bring meaning and value to you. They could be hobbies, they could be interests, they could be things that you just know generally relax you. Positive distractions can then de-escalate you down to that baseline so that you can come back and engage in whatever you were engaging in prior to feeling that trigger that's caused you to feel angry. Develop problem-solving skills. So instead of dwelling on the anger, focus on practical solutions to the underlying issues. Identify the problem, brainstorm on solutions, and evaluate the pros and cons of each solution. Taking proactive steps to resolving an issue can alleviate some of that anger. So the situation may have been quite upsetting for you, but if you take that back step and you analyze it like 360 degrees, you look at all the different perspectives, you go, okay, I can see all the different perspectives here. Here's the actual problem. Now, what can I do as an individual to fix this solution and move forward? And you may need to develop other skills, whether they're problem-solving skills, negotiation skills, assertive communication skills. Sometimes the reason that we struggle with regulating our emotions is because maybe we haven't developed the skills to be able to deal with situations effectively. And so in learning different skills or ways of doing things, we can sometimes then create alternate pathways to dealing with those situations rather than becoming angry. So practice self-care. And I was already touching on this in the past. So engage in regular self-care activities to manage that stress, because even a buildup of stress can actually lead to agitated feelings, becoming angry easily. So managing stress and maintaining emotional well-being is exceptionally important. So get a good night's sleep, eat a balanced diet, exercise regularly, engage in activities that help you relax and recharge. Create a life that has meaning and value to you. And work on that work-life balance. So generally looking after yourself is going to take some of that edge off. And it's going to help you regulate those emotions that sometimes lead to anger. And as I touched on right at the beginning, seek professional help if needed. If anger continues to be a significant challenge in your life that's impacting on things like your home life, your work life, your social connections, then consider seeking help from mental health professionals. You could go to your GP first, have a chat about it. Maybe there's some health-related issue that's impacting on your mood. and then get a referral for counselling. Or even do your own research and go onto some of those sites like Men's Line, or Victorian Health in Australia has some good resources on anger management. The Centre for Clinical Intervention in Western Australia is another website, and I'll put some of these links in the description that give you extra resources and online strategies for managing anger effectively. So 1, go to the GP, have a chat. 2, seek that professional help if you find you're really struggling with that anger, and do your own research and study around building skills and resources to help manage your anger and your emotions generally. So remember, managing anger is an ongoing process that requires patience and self-awareness. It's essential to be kind to yourself and seek help when needed. With time and practice, you can develop healthier ways for managing anger and maintaining emotional balance. And as you can see here, I've put up a few references, but it may be a bit small here, so I'm going to put them in the description. I'd just like to thank you for listening. And if you like these sort of videos, or even if you have suggestions on videos you would like me to put up, then please hit like and subscribe. And if you wish to have individual counselling sessions with myself, then feel more than free to contact me, and we can make a time for a video session or a telephone session. Okay. Thank you for listening.